Hey everyone, so today the question is 4%, 4 hours a day to manage a property, or paying your property manager 10% of the income you make off of your properties. So for even numbers, let's say you have one property and the rent is $2,000, but you pay $1,500 a month in your mortgage. That is a spread of $500. Tenant covers utilities and all that other stuff. You decide that it's not worth your time to manage the property yourself. All that hard-earned money you put into it, you want it to be super passive, and you're willing to give the responsibility to a property manager. Property manager charges you 10% of what you earn. So that $2,000 is now $1,800 for you and $200 towards them. You now have a profit of $300 a month, $3,600 a year. You probably paid somewhere close to $60,000 to get into the property, and you don't care about cash flow because you want appreciation, but you would like to probably make $6,000 a year rather than $3,600. And you can see really quickly how the property manager may be making more money off of managing these properties and putting their time into it than you are by owning these massive amount of properties. So what do most people who buy one property do? They typically will spend their time managing it themselves for the full value of the property. Because honestly, just like your real estate agent has to drive and view hundreds of properties, I also have to view hundreds of properties myself all the time. And there's no return for that. There's no pay for that. There's a lot of gas being spent. There's a lot of hours being spent. There's a lot of time being spent. Almost a whole year gets spent just looking for a property. Just for me to say, I found the best deal ever. Here you go, property manager, manage it. And what do? They just call you with a bill when it's time to pay a bill. They collect the rent that you could collect yourself, and then they distribute it to you 15 days later than you should have received it. Right? On top of that, they're taxing your tenants more for concierge services and this and that. And then they're also taxing you more for the ability to use their site workers or their connections or whoever they got to help rehab properties when things break and need fixing. So for example, I have insurance. It would cost me nothing to fix a sink in a house, $100. But instead, a property manager will charge me $230. It costs me nothing to put a property on Zillow, advertise it for rent, and make money right away, just like that. But a property manager will charge you 1 month's rent, $2,000, just to list your property because of the work that they're putting in. It is the quickest money ever made in America, honestly. And so, are property managers useless? Well, the answer to that, I don't beat around the bush. I always get straight to the point. The answer to that is it depends. And honestly, the job wouldn't be around if they were useless, right? So if you make a lot of money, if you earn a lot of money, if your time is better spent not managing a property even for 2 hours a day or 2 hours a month, then yes, a property manager is your best shot. For my properties that are well maintained, it takes me 4 hours a month maximum to manage the properties that I own. And with that being said, there is zero reason for me to have a property manager in this junction, in this stage of my investment journey. But there will come a point where I make a significant amount of money and that paying a property manager is not a detriment to me. And also, you want to look at certain complexes, buildings and things like that make $200,000 a year, $300,000 a year. They now dictate how much to pay a manager of their property. In fact, most property managers for their complexes can only be one solely. So you can't be managing 100 other properties, but you can only manage their complex for $25 an hour, $20 an hour, whatever price range you sit at, $30 an hour, $50,000 a year, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year, whatever that price point is. They're the ones dictating whether they want you for the job and how much they're going to pay you for the job. And that says a lot about where they are in terms of their profits and what they're willing to pay for someone in that position. So right now, in the lower stages, you're unable to dictate to a management company what you want your prices to be. Now, have I been able to negotiate? Sure. I've negotiated with property managers all the time, and they've all buckled and folded, and they've all given me better rates and better servicing terms. Obviously, they should not get nothing for managing your property, right? Even if it's just collecting rents, because yes, collecting rent is the easiest thing in the world, especially when things are going smooth. But when it's time for that eviction, when it's time for everything else, you want to be sure that you know what you're doing in that circumstance. And that's when you find out whether or not your property manager is made of the right stuff. A lot of property managers won't manage anything lower than a B class area. So if it's a C class area, they won't manage it. They won't touch it at all. And that just tells you that they're not willing to go through evictions, things like that, not getting paid, whatever the case may be. And so they're only looking at the high end areas. And so that leaves a lot of us starters to manage these properties ourselves, which is A-okay by me. It tells me now that, one, I should be looking at higher end areas, and then two, if I can't get you to manage it while I'm down, I won't have you manage it while I'm up, because that's just too easy for you. And I've already done all the hard work, so why would I give you the easy work? You understand? So that's how my mind is wired. That's how my brain works. That's what I'm willing and always ready to do. With that being said, it does give you some insight. You don't want to have all the bad properties in the area and people not pay you on time. You want to have a nice medium. If not, you want to be on a larger scale of things to where things operate in a more smooth trajectory. So with that being said, yes, it really just depends on what your time is worth, what you value, and truly, are you earning enough money to hire a property manager, and will it be worth it to hire one? And for me at this time, it's no. When I was in the Army, it was yes, because I had zero time to manage it. I couldn't even get to my phone, so there was no reason for me to even play games with you, okay? But now that I'm out, now that I'm working, now that I'm able to move around, trust and believe that I'm going to manage it myself because I have the time to do so. And so that is my stance for now. Will it always be my stance? Probably not. I want to be able to relax and vacate, but I do see myself in my later years still managing my own properties personally, because I just know how easy it is to do. And I don't really think that you really need a property manager until you have at least 10, 8, minimum 6 units. If you have 5 units or less in the same state, for sure you do not need a property manager. If you're out of state, you should probably hire one. All right, that's just my take. If you like this video, make sure you leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. I post every single day, daily at 8 a.m. Be sure to tune in. Peace.